Hi friends, this is Chris with Josephine's Designs. I'm back today to share with you the part 2 of I shared what I picked up at Big Lots. I also shared what I picked up at a little bit at Target Dollar Spot, and then I also picked up one of the biggest reasons I went over to Michael's was I knew that they had paper, the Hot Buy paper on sale. So I just want to give you an example of how this plays out in your crafting budget, okay? So, I'm just going to pull the first one over. So, this paper is $5 if it's a hot buy. Well, what they did was they had this whole section of $19.99 paper pads. The sale was, it's all by recollections, that all of them were $5. I then, in each packet has 48 sheets, and I believe, yeah, they're single-sided. So, anyways, what I was going to share with you was, I have been getting ready for my Creative Memories scrapbook weekend, and I have lots of Creative Memories paper. I have lots of Creative Memories paper supplies. I am switching some of my albums from the 12x12 to the half-size Happy album. I'm just finding that for me right now, it just space-wise on a page, I really am getting smaller and smaller and smaller because many of you know that I am doing a lot of personal journaling in, TNs that are like this size. And see, I literally just take my ephemera when I get it and I stick it in the pocket and then I'm ready to go when I'm out and about, or if it's on a trip or whatever, you know how that goes. And it's just so cost effective. And so then I started thinking about my scrapbooking. And I was thinking, to use what I have is great, and I will do that. But I also have lots and lots of paper pads as well. And so I'm trying to figure out, how do I do this? Because in the past, I have literally felt guilty at crops. If I was at a Creative Memories crop, I needed to only use Creative Memories. If I was at a Stampin' Up event, I needed to use only Stampin' Up. Guess what? We all cross over. We all cross over. So what I'm going to do, and this is where the financial little whirlwind in my head went on. So a paper kit for Creative Memories, which is 12x12, they're usually 10 pages, they're about $8.50. So let's be generous and say it's $8. So you get 10 pages for $8. I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend that, because I can buy, even without my 20% off, free, whatever, come back, frequent person or whatever, from Michael's, I got a 20% off email. If I bought this for $5, I'm paying $4. I get almost 5 times more paper. So let's be fair, 4 times, I'll say 4.5 times more paper. When I started figuring out the price that I would spend as opposed to, my money went much, 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 much further. Plus, I bought tons and tons of stickers on clearance. I mean, I just purposefully went with an economical scrapbooking, journaling mission in mind. So, anyways, so what I will come back and I will share with you guys is how I prepare for each one of my Creative Memory scrapbooks, my what is this? My Journal Studio, ooh, I've got coffee or something there. Scrapbooks, my Felicity Jane, Traveler's notebooks, and also my Illustrated Faith journals that I'm using. Which in those I use the little bit larger planner TNs. I don't know the exact size, and I'll look that up. I've forgotten the different sizes. So I will share with you how I prepare my paper for each one of those. And it just takes, like, seriously, if you have a place in your family room, or we call ours a parlor, or your living room while you're watching TV, or you're hanging out, and like if your family watches sports and you're not into sports, or I mean, I really am. I love basketball. We watched the finals last night, even though our reception was horrible. And it wasn't our team, boo-hoo. But there are times that, like, if I'm totally interested, I wouldn't do this. But if I'm not, then I would sit and just cut and prepare paper. So what I'm going to do is come back, show you how I've prepared, how I set it up in my space, and, just give you guys some ideas. So these I paid $4 a piece for. Okay, so if you take a fourth of that, that's $1. If you want to say only, it's only a fourth of one of those kits, where we're being pretty generous because it's even cheaper than that. You take 20% off, it's crazy. 20% off the 5 is 4. Take a fourth of that. That gives you, just gives you 12 pages. So that's still a little bit more than Creative Memories. And then, we kind of go from there. So these are not, in all fairness, Creative Memories are two-sided papers. The quality of Creative Memories paper is phenomenal. I am not going to lie, that is fantastic paper. But this is great filler paper. This fills in my Felicity Jane. This fills in my I Love Amy Tangerine paper. I mean, the list goes on. The different, By the Well for God, Illustrated Faith. All of these kind of fill in the gaps, so I don't have to spend as much money on the expensive paper, and I can fill in with some of this paper. So I'm just going to show you, because here's where you can see all the prints. And there was one I was looking for, and they didn't have it at mine. It was something like Rose Cottage or something. Maybe I got it and I didn't realize it, but I'll see now. So this one is Love Letters, and I love the gold foiling. It's so pretty. Let me scoot my little plant away. It's so beautiful, and the bees and all that. So, though I'm allergic to bees, my honey man, my husband, on my phone it says my honey man, but anyways, my sweet honey man, he has raised bees, so he has all this stuff for it. So anyways, I thought this one would be pretty for fall. This one is Warm Luxury, and I just thought it just looked like fall to me. So I thought that one was really pretty. Again, $4. I know, it's crazy. And then you knew what this got me on. It was summer, it was llamas, it was fun, and yeah, I just loved it. It's just very joyful to me. This is called Playground Friends. Our niece just had a birthday last weekend, and it was unicorn, and her mom, my sister-in-law, did the most phenomenal job on her outfit. It was crazy. And by the way, when you use up your paper, cut up the front and use the fronts. I use everything. We use the whole buffalo. I also will use the backs, even though they're just plain white. I will use that, like if I'm mailing something and I don't want it to get crushed, I'll cut that up and I'll use that. So you can also put two of these together and make a cover for a junk journal. All kinds of things. So anyways, I love this one. This one's Garden Dreams, and it's beautiful gold foiling. It's a little bit more muted, kind of a metallic, and I think it's really beautiful. I love the colors. I love the butterflies. That'll be for my youngest for her birthday. I picked up this one because I just thought it would be fun for her. Everybody on this channel knows I love pink and green, and I love succulents, and I love all of that. And I kind of, even though I'm looking now, I don't see succulents. This one says Sprig and Bow, or Sprig and Bough, pardon me. B-O-U-G-H, Bough. Okay. And just beautiful. Just roses, pretty, all of that. And my birds are talking because, yeah, they know we're getting ready to leave. My birds don't like it. Hold on. My birds hate it when we leave. When we were gone on our trip, they were so mad. And when we come back, I have 4 cockatiels, 2 couples. And when I came back, they would not talk to me. They still won't do the sing-song back to me at all. They are still mad. And we got back a little over 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago tomorrow. Is that right? 2 weeks ago Saturday? Probably. They still won't do the sing-song. So when they know we're getting ready to leave to go to the grocery store, that's when they get really mad. And when they, yell like that or scream loudly like that, I know what they're telling me. So anyways, just a little fun fact when you hear my birds, when they screech like that, that's what they're telling me. So, or they just want my attention. But Cedar Lodge, I love this because we're doing the camping thing. I really bought this for my husband for Father's Day. I love anything vintage. I thought this was gorgeous. And then I saw the rooster on the front, and he loves vintage. And I thought there was just a lot in here to be encouraging. And I don't know, it just kind of screamed man to me. And I love anything kind of rose gold, coppery. So I thought that was pretty. Okay, talking about birds. I don't know if you guys know this, but on my bucket list in life is to own a cockatoo. It'll never happen because it'll just never happen. I can't afford it. And they are really loud. But as my husband and I get more and more deaf with age, it's probably the right time to do it. But I love cockatoos. I have loved them forever. I remember doing a bucket list scrapbook for creative memories that I taught at a National Scrapbook weekend that I hosted, and on it was a cockatoo. That was on my bucket list. So I own cockatiels because they're Aussie birds, but the cockatoos, there's just something about them, and I want one from like a baby. I want to hand raise it. I want to hand feed it. I want to, anyways, but got to be realistic. So I'm going to put it in my scrapbook and in my journals. So, and this is just summer tropical fun. This is called Hot Tropic. Love it, love it, love it. We'll be going down to the coast here in Texas next month for a getaway. We are super excited. I already called one of my friends and said, get ready. We're coming, and we already have dinner planned. She's like, okay, we're going to have dinner. And I said, pick a day. You get the first pick. So, and I said, I can pawn my husband off. He's going to go fishing, and my youngest will go with him, and it'll just be you and me, kid. And she was just like, all right, I'll take any day. And I was like, no, you get first pick. So I'm super excited, and I kind of laughed. She is also a mother of the bride. Her daughter's getting married, and she's doing everything from sewing the dress to making the food, making the cake, everything, sewing all the bridesmaids' dresses. She is amazing, and she works full time. And she's just brilliant. I mean, there's no other word to say. She's just one of those people that is just intellectually brilliant and creative. So, anyways, she drinks. I don't drink. And so I said, okay, honey, you can get whatever fun drink you're going to have. And, if it's, because we laugh when it's really bad, she'll drink tequila. And I said, okay, get your tequila, and I'll be there with my kombucha, and we'll have a good time. And I told her, I said, let's go, we can go put our feet in the water, we can do whatever you want to do. And she was just like, let's go eat dinner. And I said, that sounds great to me. So, anyways, so I love this. This makes me happy. This is how I grew up on the coast of Texas. I'm just, if you could see my face, I've got like double cheek, puffy face. I'm smiling so much, but, and I have really chubby cheeks. So it just, I don't even know how to say how much I love the coast. Anyways, sorry. I do. I can't wait to go home. More mermaids, me, and of course there's more beach theme, more ocean. We're probably going to go to the aquarium and just have a good time. And I just love these colors. They're watercolor. They're just, when you're like not feeling bright and chipper, these are the ones that just kind of get you in the mood for creating and writing, and I don't know, it just is how it affects me. So I love these colors. These watercolors are so pretty. And of course I love anything pink and anything ocean, anything mermaid. It's so cute. So, oh, and that one is called Mermaid Lagoon. How cute is that? Okay, this one is Corner Office. And I just thought this was bright and pretty and fun and cheerful and would totally tie in with all of my Illustrated Faith and Amy Tangerine, and just pretty, 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 pretty. So, and it has gold foiling, and me and my golds. And then lastly, I picked up one that's travel. So, summer travel, things that we're doing. This is called Born to Travel. We are just looking at the different things we want to do. My husband and I are even talking about, like, we're getting ready to have, like, no kids at home. I mean, we will not have any kids at home. I mean, I'm kind of being, funny grammatically, but without, any children at home, and that we're going to be a grandmother and grandfather. Like, my husband even proposed us living in another part of the U.S. half of the year. And I was like, how in the world do we do that and work, and how do we take care of this property? And, there's all those, how do we? And, anyways, I honestly think we need to sell our property, find just a simple house, and in a neighborhood, and which my husband is not a neighborhood guy. He likes being in the country, but and then kind of go from there. But we'll see. I mean, it's all in God's hands. We're just praying, but you know how those things go. So I was looking at this because I told him, as soon as the youngest finishes homeschooling, and people don't need me like my parents, I'm free to travel. And up until the last year, he's had to travel a lot for work, and we just pay for me to go with him. And we can eat 2-for-1 off meals. I eat like half a meal. I usually give him a little bit more, and if there's bread or chips or whatever on the table, he'll eat all that. So, I mean, we're really cheap. We are cheap. And so I don't know. I love photography. I have a camera, 35 millimeter digital, and I need to pull that out. There were a lot of things that got shelved, and so it's time for me to find the things that I'm enjoying. And that's why I think journaling is so important, and scrapbooking and all of that. It's memory keeping, yes, no doubt. But it also takes you and reminds you, because as we start writing or we start putting those pictures together, it reminds us of what it is that we really enjoy. Do we enjoy it because it works for the family? Do we do it because it's our spouse likes it? Do we do it because it's our best friend's thing? There have been a lot of things like that for me, because I felt like I was the one that was trying to always hold us together as a family, work together as a unit. So, needless to say, I'm trying to figure out what are my passions and pursuits, quoting Jane Austen. And, yeah, I mean, there are books that I need to reread. I would like to reread all the Jane Austen books. We've been rewatching movies that we haven't seen in years. Just things like that. We're taking special times for my youngest daughter while she's home. Not yesterday, but the day before, we went out to eat lunch. We ate at Olive Garden. We went to Michael's and these places together. She had a great time. She picked up things she wanted to do. And she's like the most frugal person. She walked out with 2 things, and I walked out with like 2 bags. I mean, we're just totally different in that aspect. But taking her and going to do these things, it's like I have missed that, because I always had all the other kids, and the other kids were more vocal, and she didn't always get to say what she wanted to do. And so I need to figure out what I want to do. You know what I mean? So that's why journaling and scrapbooking is such an important thing to me. And I'm going to tell you that when my grandmother developed dementia, I had made her a scrapbook of through the years. And I'm going to try to get through this without crying. My grandmother meant everything to me. Josephine of Josephine Designs. Josephine is my grandmother. I've had 2 stores named after my grandmother. So I have a child named after my grandmother, and now my granddaughter will be named, her middle name will be my grandmother's name. So you have to imagine the multi-generational impact she had. She was not perfect. She had lots of faults, but she was amazing to me and to my family and to my husband and to my children. And if there were nobody else for us to be around, she was enough to fill everybody's cup. She was just so, I don't know. I mean, again, she wasn't perfect, but she could just say something and, your whole day would just turn around. She was amazing. So I had made her this scrapbook through Creative Memories, and I have the scrapbook now. And it was through time in her life. And when she developed dementia, or probably the early stages of Alzheimer's, she did not live to hit the bad stages of Alzheimer's. But she definitely did develop dementia. She would have moments where she would just forget things. And the nurses would call me. My mother and dad made the decision to put her in a nursing home, because we'd offered for her to live with us, but we were in a 2-bedroom townhouse with a loft. And my husband said, because she was down on the coast and my parents had moved and we knew she was struggling, my husband said, we'll bring her back with us. If we have to move the couch out, we'll put a hospital bed in there and she can live with us. And she really didn't need a hospital bed, but he was like, I'll do whatever it takes. That's how much he loved her too. And so the nurses would call me until my mom said no. She wanted to go a different route, a medicinal route, which was never my choice. And anyways, so they would call me, and she would be lost in time, and she would be talking about, before I was born or whenever, and I would just have to listen to her for just a minute, and I would go get the scrapbook, and I would start where she was. So if she was in Maine eating lobster, or in Maryland eating crabs, I would know, because when she and my grandfather were married, he was a very comfortable man, and they would travel all over the world. And so all I would have to do is just go back to that point in time, take her through the scrapbook, and take her to current, and she would always come out of it. It worked. There was not one time it did not work. It was amazing. Now, my mom, who had much more severe Alzheimer's, it did not work at a certain point. But my mom always knew me. She never didn't not know me. And I was very thankful for that. I mean, I think she had problems with names. She didn't always with me, but I know she had problems with names with other people. But I was always in her face. I would tell her, I'm always in your face. You're probably tired of me. Tell me to go home. And she'd be like, no, don't. She was, because at the very end when she was so ill and she was on hospice, we had to have her in a nursing facility. But I would still have pictures and memories all around her. Current, older pictures of she and my dad, things like that were just super important to our family. And every time I go in and she were a little confused, I would point out the pictures and we would talk about them. She got to where she really couldn't see that well, so I would describe things to her. So I think journaling, storytelling, telling the next generation is fantastic. Recording your memories, recording your moments is fantastic, but it is invaluable to those that are aging and going through a more difficult aging process. I was so tired yesterday because I'd had like 3 hours of sleep and not much the days before. I am an 8-hour a night girl, and at the very least 7 because of my autoimmune system. And I found myself driving on a road and it kind of zigged and zagged, and you had to zag over to be in the right lane as you crossed the intersection. And for a second there, I kind of had that feeling like, oh my goodness, what do I do here? And I've driven that road maybe, I don't know, maybe half dozen times before. And I had that moment of like, oh my goodness, this must be what Alzheimer's feels like. And of course, that always frightens. My sister and I talk about this a lot. That always kind of concerns us if we have those, moments. But I then stopped and remembered, you know what? No, you're tired. You haven't had enough sleep. That's just a, sleep-induced, silly thing. So there's compassion that I have for those who go through Alzheimer's and dementia on a level that is just huge. And at some point, I want to make journals for each one of the nurses that took care of my mom. Each one of the aides that was there, just caregivers. We had a naughty caregiver in the home. Don't think I'll probably make her a journal, but she kind of got a lot. So that one I don't have to worry about. But there were others that were in it, and especially at the nursing facility, that were in it selflessly. That would literally give, when she wouldn't eat anything, and if she were there and they were talking about their dinner or something, they would give her some of their food just to get her to eat. I mean, these are people that barely make minimum wage. I mean, goodness gracious, it was just like, wow, I don't know what to say. And I thought, it's going to be long enough soon. My mom's 2nd year anniversary of losing her, I want to by then have made enough traveler's journal size type thank you gifts. And I'll probably put some pictures in of my mom and then just leave blank pages for them to add things that they want to add with their people at work. Make this be like a work gift. I really hope all my ladies are still there. I think they are. I mean, I've been, and there's a gentleman who was also a fantastic nurse. There were just instrumental people in my mom's care that I will always be forever grateful for. The doctor, the cardiologist who took care of my dad when he died, he and his PA, hands down, they're going to get something. Our attorney, his admin, they're going to get something. I mean, they're just people that, you look at and you say, gosh, you've got so much stuff. Well, a lot of stuff I give away. A lot of stuff has been given to me. A lot of stuff is for future projects and specific projects. And some things are for y'all, no doubt. And so this is a way I want to show you guys that you can make gifts, make pages to go in your journals. You can buy a $2 book at Target in the dollar spot. They have dollar journals, and literally go in and buy 12 and you have one for every month of the year. You spent $12. Then go buy a $5 paper pad or 2 of them, cut them up, and you've got all your ephemera that you need and paper and embellishments. I just want to show you guys there's things to do. I mean, you can fussy cut some of these pictures out and you can use those as embellishments. I mean, there's ways to do things that don't cost you a lot of money, and I want to share that with you. And I want to share with you ways that you can give back to those that you love. Those that have done something so amazing and so selfless to encourage you in your journey. There's just nothing like that. And it may be for some of these people, I won't make a journal. I'll make a pic, just a 4-paged card, and in it there'll be places for pictures with mom and that kind of a thing, or my dad. But it's just really important to me to know that what I do encourages others, and I want to give back to those who encouraged me. And that's what this channel's about. That's what it's about. It's encouraging you to get creative, to save your memories, to grow in your faith, to organize your life and planners, all of that. But I don't want you to go break the bank. So, okay, I've talked a long time. Ugh. So, when I get this process video done, I'm going to have a giveaway. And this process video will be worked on next week. So, come on back. I'm super excited. I want to share with you some of the blessings that God has blessed me with, and I want to share some of this gorgeous paper with y'all. So, go to Michael's right now, $5 hot buys, and it says all $19.99. But when you go up to the register, say hey, it's at $5. So, and they'll double check everything. And the week before I took everything up, and they wouldn't give it to me, but this week they did. So I'm going to make sure to get this up like this weekend. So hopefully, because I think this goes on for the gal was telling me it may be for the month. I don't know, the end of the month. I don't know. Or maybe the summer. Wouldn't that be great? So anyways, there's stuff for fall. There's stuff for summer. There's stuff for any time. And I wish they had Christmas out. They didn't have anything Christmassy. They have solid paper packs. Those would be a good thing to put up and buy if you need just regular paper. But there's lots of good things right now. And all right, I've just rambled and rambled. Okay, my dear sweet friends, thank you so much for being here. Thumbs up if you liked this. Leave a message below if you are interested to see how I prepare these for the journaling and scrapbooking things. So I'll have quick and easy scrapbooking and journaling. I can't wait to share with you guys. So, all right. And subscribe if you're not subscribed, because we're going to have a giveaway, and I want to give some of this goodness away to you guys. And then lastly, leave a message. You can email me at josephinesdesigns.com@gmail.com, or you can leave a message below. I'm slower at the comments, but I'm going to have fun this summer reading all your beautiful comments and your encouraging words. You guys are amazing. And yeah, and that's it. That's all I've got right now. All right, I'll quit talking. Can you tell I haven't eaten breakfast or lunch? I know, it's in the afternoon. But all right. I pray your day is blessed, creative, and lovely. I look so forward to talking to you guys soon, and I cannot wait to come back with the giveaway and how we process this paper. And I will be talking to you soon. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.